So here we are, season 4.
Here we are.
Big cliffhanger.
Yeah, it was like 80,000 cliffhangers.
Yeah, all in one, wrapped up.
And there will be a cliffhanger of season 4, part 1.
Yes.
Part 2. You're torturing us, putting it into 2 parts.
I know,
aren't
us
you?
too, really.
We're tortured by it as
We're
well,
used to being able to talk about it all at once,
everything.
but it's
We're gonna hold
exciting.
back a little bit.
So, Lucien,
Yes.
how do things pick up for Alfie at the beginning of season 4 after he finally finds out what his fears have been confirmed, basically?
Yeah, the love triangle's real. I think we find Alfie in this very vulnerable kind of state of trying to figure out where he wants to go next in what's right for him and what his heart wants, really. I think he's kind of torn between wanting to do right by his friend, being a bit selfless in the fact of wanting her to kind of just make her mind up and allowing her to have the space to do that, and having him the space to figure out, does he want to be involved in this kind of messy situation. So yeah, it's a little bit of a rocky start to the season for Alfie. Trying to figure out what's going on, but yeah, the second part, we
get to see him really in his feelings this season.
Yeah, he's in his feelings. He's in his feelings for sure. But yeah, the second part we see a little bit more light come to it, and yeah, the second part's pretty interesting too.
So there's hope for us and
There's
Alfie.
always hope for Alfie.
There's always hope for
Alfie's gonna do all right. He's gonna be okay. Alfie's gonna be all right.
He's Parisian now.
Yeah.
Mindy's off to Eurovision.
Yeah, yes, as far as we know, she's gotten into Eurovision.
Yeah.
I think I think she's faced very quickly with the fact of there's a lot of funds and prep that needs to go into getting into Eurovision. So that's the hope and that's the goal.
We saw her making some money at the end of last season, didn't we? She's figuring it out, right?
She is figuring it out, and she finds some jobs that she didn't expect this season for sure.
Mindy's a hustler for sure.
She is, yeah, she's a hustler. What about Mindy's love life? Because there was a little bit of an upset.
Yeah,
right, with the family.
I think that, well, first of all, in terms of her work and her personal life, I love that right away she's yes, I have this very rich and successful boyfriend, and I could always, she's always had her dad that she could call up and fall back on, but she's very about paving her own path and figuring it out for herself. Yeah. I think that there's a lot of stuff that what Nicola and that relationship brings is this opportunity to kind of figure out her own past and her own stuff with her own dad as she helps him through his stuff. And so yeah, it gets pretty dramatic this season.
Yeah, it's a lot of growth for Mindy. A lot of growth.
What do you think it is, Lucien, that the fans just love about this show so much, and it's so many of our guilty pleasures, we just can't get enough of it?
I think it's the aspect of kind of what people kind of perceive Paris to be, and then also
it's really aspirational,
beautiful, and then seeing it through these characters. And I think everyone can kind of take a little piece from, if not just one character, but a couple of the different characters, and go for the ride with them. I think it's a real all-rounded, solid show that brings a lot of light to the world. So
4 seasons in, how is your French, Ashley?
It's definitely better.
I'll say it right now. Ashley's French is, in my eyes, is spectacular, because when we're in France, I don't think you realise how much French you actually can speak.
Really? I know, but I get nervous. I get very I know a lot. I can pick up a lot of stuff, but in terms of speaking it, I have to have the right sentence structure, and so I get really shy.
Well, I'll say off the cuff, if someone just shouts it, she'll have a whole conversation in French and then just jump straight back in. And I'll be like, did you realise what you just did there?
But what's
hilarious? No, what happened? I blacked out for a second.
Is that because Paul, my boyfriend, speaks both French, he's fluent in French, and so I was dating a French guy, I'll be able to speak a lot more French. But now I'm just will you just say this?
Just figure it out.
I use him at all the time, the translating, and he's so generous in that way. So now I feel I speak a lot less.
How are you feeling? Because my goodness, you had such a big health scare. How are you doing?
I'm obviously feeling a lot better because I'm dressed in butterflies and pink and talking about the show. But it was a huge personal struggle for me in filming the season, and getting to watch it, I'm very grateful that I was able to even be a part of the season.
It must be
it's crazy.
Because you're besties, right?
Oh, listen,
yes.
This is my girl right here.
Yes.
Oh, so you were taking care of her, making sure she was all right.
Listen, I was on the other side of the world, which was the hardest thing. So, just keep in touch with Paul a lot of the time, because he was on the mend, and it was kind of a crazy time. I can't imagine you didn't put that. I say
And
resilience
very
is great.
emotional, like looking back and watching the season when you say it was so hard for you to like get through.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't remember filming much of it because it was just like kind of surviving day by day. But I was so great. Like the production and the producers were so great in that I was a month late to filming and I'm in the show, you know. And knowing that I had like Lucien and Lily and like a great crew of friends, and I would not have been alive if it was not for Paul being in, and thank God he's in the show too. So yeah.
So love triangle. How long is it going to take for us to see this resolution? How long have we got to wait, Lucien?
Hopefully another season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that there's a lot of decisions to be made, and also as well, I think one thing that the show does quite beautifully, it kind of. It's kind of an example of what people kind of go through in their own kind of mind. It plays out what kind of, I guess it's like an inside out moment, I feel, of what's really going on, the struggles, but it plays out on our show. I guess it wouldn't be so obvious in real life, but we kind of get to explore it through these characters, which is kind of cool, because we all have choices to make and decisions that are difficult, and when your heart's somewhere and your mind's somewhere else.
The intention's always good,
good, yeah.